and Jama'at. As a matter of fact, Islam is opposed to it and has ordered the opposite. فَأَتَسِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا. Hold to the rope of Allah and do not split. And those who have split themselves into these groups, what is our position? لَسْتَ مِنْهُمْ فِي شَيْءٍ. You're not from them. After understanding this point, it's hard for me to see someone saying that there's some benefit to all of this. It's as if we're on 6, 7, or 8, or 10 different religions. And it seems like the individuals involved in those jama'at feel this way about the majority of the Muslims. That if you're not with them, you're not upon Islam. So he said, we see that Islam does not accept this. And that all of them should fear Allah. And we should come together upon the minhaj as-salaf salih, the methodology that is approved by Allah ta'ala, the methodology that Allah ta'ala revealed from the heavens, not the methodology that Zayd came up with, or Amr, as he said. And I add to that, not the methodology of Sayyid Qutb, or the methodology of Sayyid Abu Alam al-Dudi, or the methodology of Hassan al-Banna, or the methodology of, what's his name, Ra'is al-Tabliq. Ala kulli halin. I think you know about these individuals. These manahij we don't take. And these jama'at we don't support. As a matter of fact, we believe that Islam does not accept the existence of these matters. But we see, he says, that we should, and this is his words, ta'awun, have cooperation with every Muslim with the condition that the da'wah of Ahlul Sunnah is not harmed, whether that be now or in the future. And for us, the layman, tulab al-ilm, how can we know, first of all, if it's going to be harmed, second of, if it's going to be harmed now or in the future? So someone who has khibrat and experience, someone from Ahlul Ilm, and you have the fatwa regarding these issues. I'm not going to go into all of that. Ala kulli halin. The 19th matter, he says, we see many of the Hizbiyyin, he says, have many deceitful ways and come at you with different types of faces. So the talib al-haq has to be aware. He has to be aware. Has to be, as he said, woke. Can't be asleep regarding them. And this is done, he says, through knowledge and forbearance. And we warn against stupidity and foolishness. You know, and bin mughafil, having this overabundance of husn dhan, this a butterfly type mentality. You know, you're in love with everyone, you're not aware of their position. Sunflower child, as they used to say. This type of thing. Now the Muslim is not like this. And Salafi can't be like this. He has to be aware. He or she has to be aware of what's going on around him. I recall a situation where there was giving brothers were hearing durus about all the principles of one particular group. Might have been surur, ikhwan, or whatever. One of the brothers heard all of the durus and was translated and heard the matter and read on it, so on and so forth. Still after, it was like, who's surur? What's this? Da'wah surur. What's this da'wah to ikhwan? And I recall this question coming to one of the shaykh, and he's saying, all of my talk regarding them has been around this issue, and this brother has missed it. So the point is for the individual to be aware and to have ilm, to warn. And he said we warn against stupidity and ghulu. And we call to ijtimah, to gathering. Wal ittiba, following. All of this we give a part of our da'wah. We don't call gathering upon dalala, nor foolishness that will lead to corruption. Nor do we call to ordering the Muslims to separate and split into groups so that they will not have any power or any strength. And this will make the enemies happy and pleased with them. This is something that the enemies will be pleased with, that they find the Muslims in a position of weakness because of their separation and their splitting. But we call to the sunnah and to ijtima'a, gathering, and then come together and in love, but a gathering upon the clear truth, a gathering upon that which is in agreement with the way of the Salaf Salih. So he said this is the point that we call to. He also says we don't see khuruj al-hukam. We don't see going out against the Muslim ruler as long as they are Muslims. But we see advice to them, clarifying matters to them. And we see patience and making dua for Allah Ta'ala to correct their situations. And we that this khuruj that people want to do has conditions. First one, that the person who they're referring to, or the rulers, have committed al-kufr bawaha, a clear kufr. Secondly, that there is that ability to change this without fitna. And we see that exciting the Muslim youth and talking about the mistakes of hukam, even if they're wrong, from the manadir, from the minbar, and taking the amma, the general people, turning them on their hukam, outwardly and openly, is from fitna, goes against the da'wah of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. And the one who does this should not be followed nor obeyed. It will not, this approach of da'wah, remove any munkar, nor will it give any establishment to the da'wah of the haqq. And we see that this person's actions will lead to fitna and will make the enemies of Islam happy because of the weakness of the Muslims. So this is very clear. This is not clear. See, this brother's going to sleep. Anybody else going to sleep? Is it not clear that this khuruj, the conditions of it, and kufr bawah, and that even if it's kufr bawah, you don't have the ability to remove the munkar? In many cases, this is the situation. Matter of fact, I don't know within my lifetime the situation wasn't the case. But every time that the people try to do this, that the harm comes upon the Muslims more. There may have been an awareness in the land of the Muslims. There may have been ad-da'watus-salafiyyah. There may have been an understanding of kitab and sunnah, and iqbal, a turning of the people upon what was haqq and what was on guidance, and what was correct, the connection with Islam. Then after this fitna, everybody's harmed, thrown in prison, killed or butchered, and fitna. And to the people who were upon sunnah, some of them even are no longer upon sunnah. The people who are wearing zayl Islami or Islamic dress, and the last thing they want to put on is a thobe. Last thing they want to have is some hair coming out of their cheeks or their chin. Anything considered a lihya. This is what has happened, and has been. Ask if you don't know, if you're 10, or 12, or 13, or 14, or 15. I don't know, it might be some amongst you that young, Allahu Alam. Ask if you don't know, those who have experience and have witnessed. And if you can't do that, just look at the situation of the Muslims nowadays. And it is those who have called to this fitna that have created the fitna that we're involved into, or involved in. And we call those, advise those who weigh the mistakes of the people, who beautifies the mistakes of the people. Retranslation. That's incorrect. This is correct. Inshallah. Those who beautify the mistakes of the people. يُزَيِّنُونَ أَخْطَاءَ النَّاسِ وَيُدَافِعُونَ عَنْهَا بِالْبَاطِلِ, and who defend it upon falsehood, and try to find some reason why the individual may have said or done what they're doing. He calls this takalluf. The takallufun, they try to come up with reasons. Well, possibly it's this. Well, possibly it's that. Maybe he meant this. Maybe he meant that. Those who beautify the mistakes of the people and defend batil and try to come up with means and understanding as to why they are doing what they're doing or hold the position that they hold, he said, we tell them, fear Allah. Fear Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. And do not sell your deen for a piece of this life of this dunya. So that the Muslims, inshallah ta'ala, will be safe from fitna in their deen. So this is one of the matters. How much time is there? Huh? 5 minutes? Huh? Allahu musta'an. Ala kulli halin. That the one who does this, who tries to find faults for the mistakes of the people, and who tried to defend their batil, and who goes out of his way to find reasons as to why they're making the mistakes that they make, he says to fear Allah and don't sell your deen for a piece of this dunya. Fear Allah so that the Muslims can be safe from fitna in their deen. And that the person who does this, try to find all these excuses and try to beautify the mistakes of the people, he is an enemy to the one who is defending the deen of Allah ta'ala. And in reality, he will even be an enemy to the one he's defending now in the hereafter. Say, in this world or in the hereafter, except those who Allah ta'ala have mercy upon. He said, and it was better for their deen that they listen and obey the orders of Allah ta'ala. And when it comes to disobeying Allah ta'ala, it is better for this individual to stick to the root of a tree until death comes to him than involve himself in defending the likes of these individuals. He said, and we see, وَنَرَانَ الْحَرِيسِينَ عَلَى الْخَيْرِ, those who have concern for the hukam and the shu'ub, the Muslim populations, even if they have some dhulm, some injustice and some distortion, that they are the ones who regarding their mistakes. And we support these individuals, and we support these Muslims as long as they are upon what is correct, and we cover their faults, and we remind them of the days of Allah ta'ala and the sunnah regarding His khalq, and that Allah ta'ala honors the people of justice, and Allah ta'ala humiliates the people of jur wa dhul. He's talking about the hukam and the shu'ub, that you give them this nasiha, that the hukam, the rulers, just like the mahmeen, those under them, are in need of nasiha. As Shaykh Rabi was saying on Minhaj ad-da'watus-salafiyyah, or a tape or a lecture that he gave, that the rulers are in need of da'wat-tawheed too. You find some rulers slaughtering their graves. Rulers even of the kuffar from Europe, and what are they worshipping but the cross and Isa and these lies, and the Yahud, what are they upon? And the hukam from all around the world, whether Buddhists or whatever, or Hindus, they are in need of da'wah. But amongst the Muslims themselves, that they should be reminded of the sunnah of Allah ta'ala regarding His creation. That Allah ta'ala sends harm, sends punishments, earthquakes, difficulties, poverty, hunger, and starvation, diseases. This is the sunnah of Allah ta'ala regarding His creation when they turn away from His obedience. That these rulers and those who are ruled should be reminded of this. And that Allah ta'ala Allah ta'ala guides the people or honors the people of adl and justice, and He humiliates the people of injustice. If they accept that from us, this is the blessing of Allah ta'ala upon all of us. But if they don't accept that from us, then there's nothing for us except sabr. Sabr, patience, and to try to guide the general people, and to turn ourselves to obedience of Allah ta'ala, and to make dua, to call upon Allah ta'ala to take the rulers to the truth, to guide the rulers to the truth, and give them those who will give them proper advice, and open their hearts to accept the truth and follow it, and to judge between the people based upon that truth. And the mercy of Allah upon Fudayl ibn Iyad, when he said, if I had one dua that was mustajaba, that was acceptable, I would hold it for the Amir, because